We are live on a random Monday. Well, actually, last Monday we did a live too. Let me refresh this thing. Make sure we are set. Make sure you can hear us and see us. No complaints yet. Let us know in the chat. And here we go. What up? It's your boy Hustler Hacks. Who talks like that? Some of the videos. Back with another banger. Who talks like that?
Jake.
Let me see what's here in the chat. We have a pretty good topic today, and B doesn't know anything that we're going to be he just jumps in, gives us his 2 cents, his words of wisdom, and sometimes he just gets on a roll. He gets on fire. NBA Jam, he's on fire. He just lets everybody know what's up. So, what up, Extra? Do you live in El Paso? Yes, sir. GL Snipers, Shygon, Flykick, Sebastian, Ticket, Stevie D, Carlos, Lucky on 3 Legs, and it's all the Hustle Crow. The chat is showing me right now, so it might take some time to get people in. We're not really used to the Monday live show, but even then, if you want to listen to it in the car, if you want to catch the live show later on, that's good with me because we're just going to keep on with our topic.
Pretty much going to be like a podcast, kind of.
Yeah, almost like a little mini podcast.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. A couple of things before we start. We're going to talk a little bit more about it on Wednesday. But how did it go with Shadows and Kobe's?
No.
Because, like Z Sneakerhead says here, literally went from draw and switch to first come, first serve, last minute.
Yep.
And that's exactly what happened. It was weird. I was like, all right, ready for this draw. And then it just switched. And I was like, what? You could just buy it? And then lucky enough, I got a Kobe. We'll see when it comes in. I am pumped. I saw Maximo got it in already. So
when
he has his pair coming in.
Yeah, when's your pair coming?
I don't know. I haven't checked. Usually takes a while.
I've been watching mine. It's supposed to come in Wednesday, so we should have it for the live show or something.
Okay. All right, so I'll have it. I want to see in hand. Let's see how that looks on Wednesday. B can show the Kobe's. Let me see right now. More people coming in. Brian, how was sourcing today, Brian? White Rams fan, Ravens, DP, Sal, Austin. The Extra Dapper Fanatic, Caroline. Why are we doing lives on Monday? I'm not complaining. I like that. Miles, Coach Steve, Radio. What up? Let me see. Baker Brand, Eddie. Man, Eddie has been hitting up, getting some shadows. My boy Eddie, I like that. Let me see. Aaron, AN, White Rams fan, Mr. Mormo, Kelly Fines, Josh Brown, Hustle and Muscle. What up? Mile High Hustle. Let me see. Live in the middle of the day. Resell Freak, Michael, Brian didn't source today, took the day off. All right.
Nice.
There we go. Well, you're making that big money. You can deserve to do that. All right. So, Sue Huskins, what's up? Thumbs up. Hey, hit that thumbs up. Remember, any super chat that comes in for this whole month of May will be from my boy Soupies. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that on Wednesday. But if you guys saw the last couple of lives, we saw the GoFundMe on there. Anything else that goes to the super chat will be for Soupies at the end of the month. I'll send that to him. So I appreciate that, who has donated so far. Big topic today. I really try to mix it up. And this really goes from the people I've been seeing in person, the DMs, the emails. And I was thinking, like, why are we still making some of these mistakes? Like,
oh, man.
You know what I mean? Like, we've been through this. We've done this.
Haven't we learned?
Haven't we learned? I guess not.
Man.
For some reason.
We'll clear it up for 2021.
All right. Let me see. Add banner. Okay. So here we go. Top 5 reseller mistakes to avoid in 2021. This will be an awesome show. I think you'll definitely like the content for this.
All right. Let's do it.
All right. Number 5. Waiting too damn long to develop an inventory system. Let me add. Can we add a banner on here? Let me see. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Okay, so number 5, waiting too damn long to develop an inventory system. So let me bring this up again. Now you can't see us, but you can see what we're looking at. B, can you see it?
Yeah, I can see the bottom for the.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I did see this. Complex did post this.
Yeah.
When your basement looks like a sneaker stockroom from this guy Mark.
Right.
Can I play this? What's going on here? I think this thing like doesn't let me play it for some reason, or like froze. Oh, there you go. It did freeze. All right, let's see. Wait, I'm gonna have to refresh this. Okay, we'll look at it when it's man, this thing's working hard. What is going on here?
Yeah.
Man, this thing's just like completely froze. It's just not today. Hold on, let me try this and get out of here.
Yeah, open a new tab or something.
Yeah, let me see. Let me close the other ones. We don't need those anymore. It froze everything. I don't know if did you see that video?
Yep.
What'd you think?
My wife showed it to me. My wife's like,
oh, okay.
Ah. She doesn't brag, but she was like.
Okay, so here it is. The stockroom, when your basement looks like a sneaker stock. I don't know what's going on over here in that corner. That was a bunch of stuff piled up.
Just random. Probably.
Yeah. So I mean this piled up, all right. Looks good. I mean, at least you know if you know what it is. Looks like some 13s on there. And then big pile here, and then I don't know what happened here in that corner.
Collection or something. It's probably like his boxes for his collection.
Okay.
You see, like he has the clear bins right there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the clear bins, and then he didn't have anywhere to put the boxes. He put it in the corner.
This guy says like, did this crap reseller pay you guys to post this too?
Oh man,
man, salty
hater.
Man, hating on the resellers. What's going on
we
here?
Just go in there and just troll this dude.
I mean, personally, there's a lot of inventory. Now, I thought it was cute compared to this.
No.
Now, B's basement. I mean, how many comments did we get, B? It was like goals, mega goals.
It was wild, man. I mean, I really didn't think that there was going to be a lot of people going to be amazed by it. But, I've been getting a lot of requests, like a basement tour and stuff like that. And I was like, I can't really go into details about what's going on down here, but we could make a quick video. And to be honest, my wife actually made this in the beginning of the year.
Okay.
I try to document it because she's been taking a video because she always said like, hey, what if we just, make videos and then just, keep it. And then eventually one day, we'll pile them up together. And she wanted to post this at the beginning of the year. That's why there's 2021 in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then and then I said like, nah, don't post it. And then, like there was a one day, like, it's like, I guess I felt really inspired to inspire people. Right. So that's what it was. And man, it's a whole total setup right now already from that setup.
Okay, man, looks clean, looks good. So we're gonna get into that a little bit about the inventory system. Let me make sure this thing doesn't freeze again. Okay, got that out of the way. All right, so getting back into the topic, number 5. And so some question to ask yourself, like, things will build up quick. I mean, if you're sourcing hard, things are gonna build up quick. And if you don't have an inventory system, it's just gonna get wild. And so here's an example. I had a guy, was it 2 weeks ago? I saw him at Ross. He's a reseller here and there. He's part-time. Hadn't really seen him in a while. And he was asking me like, hey, do you have trouble with, your inventory and things like that? I was like, no, I have, I know where everything is, have everything labeled, all of that. And I told him like, well, what do you have trouble with? He said clothing. He said it's all over the place.
Right.
And it's understandable. Compared to shoes, sometimes you just don't want to see the clothing. Right. And if you're putting it in like closet with hangers, you're going to run out of space real quick. If you're putting it in bins and you're just folding hoodies, folding pants, you're not maximizing the space. So for me, I was like, the full bin has to be labeled. and everything's already packed. Like it's flattened down, it's packed in the poly bags. I know what it is, and really maximizing the room in the bins. And then not only that, it's just like once it sells, it's done. Like put a label and it's done. Like I don't have to fold things or make sure things are clean. Or that's a problem too. Once you just kind of stuff things in bins, and things get dirty, then I'm like, or things get, the tag gets torn off, something weird can happen.
Yeah. So, well, let me get an example while we're there.
Okay, there we go. He's leaving. He'll be back. Another question. Do you know where every item is? And same thing was, so I was talking to my buddy. He was saying like, I generally know where the location is, but we need to know exact. Like you don't want to waste time when it's time to ship it out.
So this is how we do our t-shirts right here. So it's pre-packed and then it's folded like this. So we'll show the size and the tag, and then it is in a bin, and it has a custom SKU. So this one, I got this off bin 20, and outside of bin 20 there's a list of all the sizes outside of the bin. So medium, how many is medium there, and then every time we take something out, we update that. So I'm kind of feeling like an eraser, what do you call that, marker, you know, erase, what do you call that, a temporary marker, or you could erase it, you know, update it every time, would be amazing probably when I upgrade my setup. But right now I just use the Dymo labels and then just keep like putting something different. But it is vital. You have to know where everything's at.
Sticker finds 12. That's a good idea. I may do pre-bag them because my shirt containers are a mess. And exactly. So I think that will definitely help you out, maximize space, and then it's way easier to ship. You know where everything is. And then what I like about it too is it's just so much cleaner, and you're just not having to scramble looking around for things. Another question to ask yourself is, you know, how do I make sure I don't double sell an item? And that's where B was saying, like taking that off, updating it frequently. And so for me, like if it sells on eBay, I take it off Mercari. You could do it. I mean, try to do it as soon as it sells, so you're not double selling. Same thing with Go and things like that. I know some people that wait until they gather everything, you know, for shipment, and then they take them all off together. But who knows? I mean, sometimes you have that to where it sells and then immediately it sells on the other platform. That's something that also could happen. And another question to ask yourself, how can I make my inventory and shipping process a lot easier, a lot simpler for my business? That's what we talked about, the pre-packaging. How can I make my system organized that someone can jump in and handle something in case of emergency? This is huge.
That's vital.
Things happen, like sick, injury, or you know, accidents or something. Like what if you can't ship, and then your wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, someone's like, all right, cool, you know, I can help you out, and then you're like, yeah, here's the hoodie, it's in one of these bins up top. Like I'm pretty sure a size medium is in like the top 3 bins.
Now like it's crazy because you brought that up. I mean, a lot of the focus in 2021 for us in our business was can somebody jump in and do the task for us? Like because when you talk about growth, there will come a time that you can't, you know, like you've maximized all the efficiency already, and there will be a lot more opportunity for you to go out there and buy, and you know, you can't be in the same place at the same time. So I think that's the first task that you have to do to be able to scale your business to a higher level. I think you know, to be able to do 7 figures, you have to have somebody ship. And with that system, right? Because what you're doing right now is, if you're not there yet, you're pretty much practicing. You're trying to discover these systems, right? And like everyone say, there's really no overnight success. But if there was an overnight success, all of a sudden it's like, hey, Glenn, I got 500 items coming your way tomorrow, right? And pay me later, right? What if there's a deal like that, right? Or it's $1 each. You get those 500 system, and if you don't have a system in place, you're gonna fail bad. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of businesses don't scale, because they don't have the infrastructure or the system in place to handle such volume or such opportunity. So, man, this is, you hit it, man, this is spot on. Like, you have to, and if you don't have it, create one now. And if you don't want it, if you don't want to do a system, you don't want success, you don't want growth.
Yeah, it's just gonna hold you back. Time, energy, money, will be lost. Let's get into number 4. Let me add this little banner on here and see. Here we go. Always thinking as a seller and not a buyer.
Ooh.
And here's what I mean by this. Being a seller, it's like we're always thinking about how much profit we're gonna make.
Right.
How can we go out and source the fun stuff? We don't like returns. Don't return anything. Things like that. But some questions to ask yourself as a seller and thinking more as a buyer. Does my listing, let's say on eBay, for example, does my listing have all the details needed as a buyer? If I'm looking at your listing and I'm like, if I'm really wanting to buy your product and you have the crappiest photos, you have, I guess in the description, there's not much going on here. Maybe there's even errors. Instead of a size 11 and it's really a size 9. There's questions there that as a buyer, I'm like, so there's a fee for a restock fee. There's a shipping fee. What's the shipping fee? How much is tax? Do you do global shipping? Do you sell internationally? There's a lot of different questions that come into play. But if it's nice and cleared up, for the buyer, I think you're definitely see some more products move. Another question to ask, should I offer free shipping? I've been getting this question a lot lately. And here's the thing, you don't have to. Like, B does sometimes he doesn't, just depending on the product, depending on how much he paid, what are his numbers look like. For me, I offer free shipping. But one thing to consider as a buyer, when you're buying something on eBay, I hate trying to calculate every single thing. Like shipping is always a weird number too, $11.28. But then the product is $100, and then tax is 8.25%. And is there any other fees I got to think about? That's what people also hate about StockX. It's like processing fee, shipping fee, plus the much, it went from $100 to $132.
Yeah, because like I experienced it recently trying to buy, like some Kobe Hall of Fame. It's like it was $400. It's like, oh man, time to pull the trigger. As soon as you go to StockX, check it out, $460 on the checkout. Like, man, that's like way over, like what I want to pay and stuff like that. So definitely, I honestly think free shipping makes it easy on the buyer for sure, 100%. That's why a lot of my over $100 items are free shipping, because these are a significant amount of money, right? And then you want that ease of a checkout factor. Like Glenn said, you don't have to calculate things. That's why, like, even say like, oh, it's going for $250 on StockX. It's not really $250. It's selling for $250, but when you check out, it's $300. So a lot of that come in, and that's why I think a lot of hesitation comes in at that checkout, especially at these apps, right? But for eBay, it's right there. Your listing, crispy listing, and then you got all the details, and it says free shipping, fast and free. Then you're a top-rated seller. Then it just looks so juicy for the buyer. You know what I'm saying? Like it just has everything. And I've had comments and messages from the people. It's like, I'm buying this from you because I see you have a high rating. Your pictures are clear. Like, you get those compliments every now and then. I was like, exactly. Like, I literally beat that guy that was undercutting me by 20 because the customer wants to purchase from me because how he kind of took on the listing. So it's really how you stage your item. That's pretty much what really matters.
BKK, and we had another question about item specifics. Do you fill out item specifics? Now, as much as I can, there's some other stuff in there that I'm like, I don't even know some of this stuff.
I mean, I just fill out whatever you can, right?
Kind
Like,
of the basics that.
yeah, whatever you're sure of, and if it's questionable, a lot of times, the buyer really don't go deep to those things, because a lot of these are pretty much for just the algorithm and ranking and eBay's, specifics. But at the end of the day, this is why I said you got to think like a buyer. When a buyer thinks like, what's the theme of the shoe? Like, they don't even look at that, right? There's
Yeah.
theme, there's midsole material or polyurethane. Like, none of that really matters for a lot of the buyers, right? So
Yeah.
that's why you cannot just think as a seller, be so technical, delay yourself and all this nonsense. You have to think as a buyer. What's more important for the buyer? So that's why, in 2021, you shouldn't just think just a seller. You have to think more as a buyer to be able to sell your products better.
Brandon said I've been paying about $8.75 to ship to eBay Authentication. eBay had me shipped to the new authentication facility, cost about $16.50. Yeah, so not all of my items are going to the Vegas one.
Yeah, exactly.
They're switching. So
yeah. And if you notice that, I think Goat just opened a warehouse in Atlanta. That's the first time I've had to ship in Atlanta. So what we were seeing last year and even this year, this is just kind of like a glimpse of what it will be in general anyway, because they're like people are seeing a lot of delays, right? Like 2 weeks to get your product. Trust me, these companies are looking at that first and foremost. They want products to get there, right?
Yeah.
Because they know people want instant. So they are going to get their logistics dialed in, hopefully a lot better this December and the years to come. And I mean, if you think about it, this service just started, right? Like, so it's just going to get better. So yeah, always still account that into cost when you're doing shipping.
Let's see, Coach Steve. Oh no, before that, I'm gonna go to Ket. I did free shipping, but stuff weren't moving, so I added shipping and things sold. So you never know. SoCal says buyer always pays shipping. People be still lowballing, want free shipping. So for me, I'm doing free shipping on eBay. On Mercari, I don't do free shipping. I do charge shipping for that, and there's a lot of good stuff there for like FedEx. So it's like $7 or
Yeah,
like
it's a lot cheaper.
yeah, it's a lot cheaper, and it's just I guess with Mercari too because they're taking out more fees. That's why I also want to charge shipping for that platform. Now, someone also said they didn't charge or did charge shipping depending on what the ROI looked like. Now, for you had a good kind of game plan you were saying with the things that you do offer free shipping. What was that like?
Over $100 free shipping.
Okay, over $100. So they do get because you're not paying the fees.
Yeah,
and
so I'm not paying the fees. Yeah, that's pretty much kind of like the offset of the fees, no fees. That's the one of the reasons why my selling cost is under 10%. My total selling cost, because my expenses right now, if it's under 100, it's just the eBay fees. If it's over 100, it's the shipping cost.
Other questions to ask yourself, are my photos clean and clear? Does it look like a legit store? And B had a pretty good thing that he was saying how like, I want my store to look like a Nike store or Nike factory store, or, someone clicks on your eBay store. Does it look like a legit company that is moving, sportswear products, athletic wear products, and every photo that you do is also kind of facing, you have the same routine and you follow that routine for every product. So everything looks very similar. And then the last question, especially some of the higher end stuff, if I was buying $400 Jordans, what would I like to see in the listing? And so there are certain collectors or certain people on there, like I want to see the inside tag, I want to see the outside tag, I want to make sure this is legit, I want to see the box, I want to see there's certain details in there, and it's not a huge deal, especially if you're filling up the full 12 photos, things like that. But always think about that when someone's about to spend $400 having everything that they may ask for and just being prepared for it.
Yep.
All right, let me see the next one. Number 3. Let me get this out of the way. All right. buying items just because they are cheap. This is still happening. We've talked about this. We've made fun of this. We've had memes about this.
I think we've learned a lesson. I think we've learned that lesson.
We've learned it the hard way, but there's still people out there buying size 19 cleats.
Right.
Because they're $5 on clearance.
Yeah, like in small, extra small, something like that, you know? Like terrible sizing. Yeah, that doesn't faze me. I mean, that's not a temptation anymore. Because you have to learn that you have to value your cash flow, right? And you have to know the sell-through of your items. And if you buy slow moving items, that's gonna make your sales go slow, right? You're gonna have to find out one person, right? So man, don't give in. Don't give in to buying this certain items. It's because like you are hindering yourself from taking a better opportunity tomorrow. That's it. If you buy something just because they're cheap now, that means you're being lazy. That means you're not doing your research. Equals a horrible businessman. That's what it is. That's the formula for a horrible businessman.
Baker Brand 100 plus watching, hit that like button. Appreciate that. Owen says, when I see size 19, I just laugh. I mean, size 19, size 20. So here's a couple of questions to ask yourself when it comes to this.
Right.
The first one, if this item was free, is it still a good deal? No. Let's say a size 19 cleat. Let's say I was like, you know what? Taquet or fly kicks. Here you go. I don't want it. It's free inventory. Here we go. Size 19 cleats.
I'm going to be like, Glenn, here's $5. Donate it to Goodwill.
And so what about a size 18 Kobe? That's a different story.
That's a different. We're talking about regular stuff, right? Collectible, man, I'd buy size 24. I just sold reverse he got game size 19s or size 20.
Yeah.
For $300, right? Because on a limited shoe or a higher end shoe, those sizes are actually sometimes you could say more money, because you know they are a lot limited, right? But when you give me a soccer cleats, you know, pro, I don't care if it's clearance for $3.99, $9.99 at this point, because I could invest that to. I'll just wait and get an elite cleats for for 29 or for 19. So
yeah,
you got
for $20, which is what Marshalls has them. I mean, you're really comparing, you know, the prices when it comes to that. Now, the reason why I'm not saying basketball shoes, because basketball players wear huge sizes. 13 plus, we've seen basketball players wear these. So for those items to sell, more than likely that will happen. Mm-hmm. You know, it may not be instant, but at least you'll have someone that actually fit these sizes. Now we're talking about size 19 football or soccer cleats.
Right.
I mean, that's very tough.
There's no 7-footer football player or soccer player.
And so it's different. So that's just one of my examples. But my example for being a free item is, in your mind, you have to be thinking about the time, the listing, the storing. So there's a lot of those factors that come into play, that it's like, is this worth my time, even though it was free? And so those kind of factors come into play for you and your business. Another item to think about, does this item fit my store and my niche and what I'm focused on?
Right.
And so just because the item is cheap, should I get it? And so it's kind of like, I'm not what's an item that we could throw in there that would be kind of troublesome, like a puzzle. Right. Go to the thrift store, and this puzzle could sell for big money.
Right.
It's super cheap though. Hey, it's 50 cents. But does it have all the pieces? Do I know it has all the pieces? This is a 10,000 piece puzzle. It could bring in good money. But figuring all that out, is it going to be your time and effort in seeing all that come into play, and putting that together and making sure it's clean and looks good and pieces aren't bent up or torn up. I mean, it just depends. And so I got to figure out, does that really fit my store? Even though it's cheap, should I still be buying this? Right. How much profit are you making after fees? You know, ROI, and every product is different, but is it worth your time and effort? And another thing you should look at is, you know, should I clearance my items? At what point should I get to clearancing this out, making my money back, or maybe even garage sale, donating it? It gets to a point to where we saw Ross, you know what I mean? They were down to 50 cents on items, $1 on some items. There's items that Ross, Burlington, and Marshalls do have in their inventory that they can't move. And so you got to ask yourself too, like, has this item been sitting here for months, even though they brought it down? Is it worth it or not? And when it gets to a point with your own inventory, it's good to check to see, how long has this been in my store? And do you have a certain point to where you've only wanted to keep this for 60 days, 90 days, 120 days? Maybe you did not want to keep that item for that long. It's okay to clearance things out, make that money back. You have capital to use for something better.
Yeah, because the ultimate goal really is to get better at sourcing, right?
Yeah.
So if you are trying to get better at sourcing and in business, you gotta eliminate the bottom line or get rid of the trash in your system. That's what it is, right? Continuous improvement. Let's say you can only handle 100 pairs, right? So what you need to do is add better products, right? When something sells, you got to add better products, and you got to evaluate out of the 100, what's the bottom top 10. The top 10 at the bottom that are just trash, you got to clearance those out, because one is that will make room, and two, it's going to give you more cash flow to buy better products. That's the analogy there, because not everybody can handle 1,000 products, but everybody has a capacity. Right? Let's say if you're part-time, you can only handle 10, 20 items a week. So out of those 10 to 20 items a week, you're going to get rid of the dookie stuff and keep making your items better. Because at the end of the day, you can make decent amount of money if you're focusing on trying to better your items. It's not about the quantity at the end of the day. It's about getting better quality of items, you know, as you grow in this business.
Yeah, very good point there. And I think that's where you've also talked about, which is kind of like, you had a great sale. Let's say you sold the Vapormax, right? You sold it 160, and then you replaced that profit. Let's say you made, after fees and everything, you cleared $100 profit.
Right.
With that $100 profit, you went and you bought questionable items.
Like Reeboks.
Maybe we're pushing it.
Yeah,
but let's say they were questionable, that you didn't know if they were really going to do well or not. You went all in, but it's kind of like, now we're kind of going backwards, because some of those do pay off. I get it.
Yeah.
But some are like, oh man, what was I thinking here?
Right. Because that's what I'm saying. Like, some of them can pay off. That's a lottery mindset, right? When you're doing business, especially with holding inventory, you cannot have that mentality. Like, oh, I've sold a size 5 before. I've sold extra small before. Yeah, you did. You did sell 5 out of the 500 you sold, right? So a lot of times we get like too focused. Like, we're not saying you can't, but I'm saying it's not a good business strategy, right?
An extra small in a sports bra is different than an extra small in
jersey,
you know, a puffy jacket or jersey.
Yeah.
You know, and men's and women's and kids, it's going to be different.
Yeah. So that's kind of like the analogy there, and you have to bank on the better moving products and focus more on that. And if you don't have the capital, why bother wasting your capital on something that's questionable, like we said? And if you've sold a Vapormax before, you obviously have found Vapormax. Work a little bit more harder to get more of the Vapormax than settle for some, you know, regular Nike running shoe that you're paying $45 and maybe you'll get 100. You know what I'm saying? So so the goal is, again, try to become a better sourcer.
Yeah, so Double Jump says problem is finding those good items. And exactly. So every city, like we said, is different. You know, we've seen some of the big cities where people are just killing it. And that's where B said is like he's gone out of town, he's driven further, he's gone to different places. We've built up, you know, like he has other supplier that he's also talked to. I've worked with a supplier too. There's different things that, and even with the supplier, it's like things kind of come and go. And then when they do come, at least I have the money ready to go. I stayed patient on that end. So there's different ways you can get inventory. Also sourcing online. You know, we talked about, you know, people undercutting, and you can snipe some really good finds on there that people are trying to let things go. There's different ways we can kind of get creative on that. And so
there is always a problem. What we're trying to find here are solutions. And if you're trying to get ahead and level up to the next, you know, step, or, you know, you have to find a solution. And in whatever industry you're at, if you're trying to push forward, there will always be a problem. But if you don't want problems, stay in maintenance mode.
True.
Right? If you don't want problems, Glenn, you have to be okay with everything in your life right now.
Yeah.
And even at that, you'll still find problems, but it'll be less problems for sure.
Yeah.
Right. If I don't want problems, if I don't want inventory problems, if I don't want shipping problems, if I don't want returns, Glenn, I'll get a job. I'll go back to my previous job. I didn't have returns back then, but I didn't have a nice car back then too. I didn't eat nice. I didn't dress nice. So you still have problems. But that's what I'm saying. It is like wherever you land in life, there's always going to be something hard, right? And that's why I saw this, somebody talk about it. It said, just choose your hard. You want a hard time paying rent or a hard time shipping? I mean, dude, there were times before I was like struggling to, like, you know, pay rent. And then now, like, man, I have a hard time hauling boxes to my car. I'll take that hard.
Yeah, you'll take that. Exactly. Yeah. I think next Monday we should talk failures. So.
Oh, bro, maybe a 4-hour live show.
4-hour live show. We'll talk failures on another one. Let's go to number 2. We got 2 left. Here we go. Not listing an item because you hate it. How did it get to this point? Why do we have this here? So this is one of my favorite memes that I think is pretty funny with the West Coast chopper dudes.
Scroll it down.
You have to list it to sell it. I have to go source more product to sell. Just list a huge pile of stuff you already have. But then I can't go sourcing today. You won't have any more sourcing money if you don't ever sell anything. It just goes back and forth over and over again. This thing was covering it.
I love this guys. You know, like, me and my little brother love this guys. But that's how the brain works. That's how the brain works. The brain is tricking you to do more of those things that looks fun and put away the things that are not fun, but actually the most logical thing to do. Right? Like, I was like, oh man, like, imagine if I walk in one day, it's like, Glenn, sourcing's great, man, but I'm running out of money, Glenn. Like, I got money, but I gotta go sourcing. And you still see shoes back here? All these things are not listed. Now, if I walk in one of these live shows and I'm struggling in capital and money, somebody better smack the back of my head, because there's money sitting here.
Yeah.
There's money sitting there. And I know those are not death piles, but it's pile of unused potential money in there.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody has. Like, oh man, I can't. But bro, you're holding on to mids. You're holding on to this, you know, items that may shoot up, right? Like exactly why we cannot bank on things that are probably gonna sell, right? Like I've converted my strategy. Like whatever I'm holding, it better be gold. If it ain't gold, it's gotta be out of here, right? So
Yeah.
because when the crap hits the fan and I need money, I was like, hey Glenn, you want to buy my Kobe's for like 250? He's gonna buy it. Like, no, you guys are gonna buy it. I'll probably sell it for on eBay for 350 before I offer it to anybody. So that's the goal. You gotta have a gold pile, not a death pile.
Death. So here's the thing with death piles. So I had this is a different dude that actually another reseller that I talked to, and he was like, "Hey, haven't been going to Ross as much. Things have been really dry, all that." And then he was like, "Do you think Ross is gonna come back? Like, do you think they're finally gonna get better inventory and things like that?" I was like, "They are. We gotta stay patient. It is what it is right now, and there's still some good stuff out there. Not some of the better stuff, but." Take what we can get, stay patient, build your money, keep listing, keep selling. And he's like, that's a good point because I have at least like 70 items in my death pile. And I was like, well, what's in the death pile and why haven't you listed it? And he's like, there's some like golf polos in there, like some of the dry fits that I was kind of like iffy when I got them. I think they were like 15 or 8 or I think they were 15.99 or 14.99 or 19.99 at the time. He's like, so they were kind of iffy. There's some of the Nike t-shirts that I also picked up at Ross that were kind of like, are they gonna do okay? And I was like, you gotta list that stuff. Like, you can't have it there building up. You need that money. You need that capital. So the first question you got to ask yourself, how much money is sitting here? Right. Look at it value-wise, money-wise. What am I doing here? Because that is money sitting there. It's not going to sell. If you're not going to list it, it's just going to keep. And what happens too, building up that pile is like, oh man, you come in, you're ready to list, you work on stuff, you bring your iced coffee. Whoop, iced coffee fell all over the death pile. Not only did the death pile not get listed, now it's all dirty and stained. Random stuff happens. Kid comes in, left a Lego on the floor. You step on it. You spill stuff. Yeah. Things happen. Another question to ask yourself, how can I learn from this mistake and not buy this item again? If you're not going to list it and you're not excited about it, don't buy it anymore. You have to have, B has also talked about this with Amazon, right? People always ask B, how come you're not on Amazon? Amazon's thriving. You should get into Amazon. B tells them too, Amazon does not excite me. Why am I going to jump into something if it doesn't excite me? And that's the thing too, is like, does your product that you bought, does it excite you? Yeah, money-wise is going to get exciting. You find an off-white sweater at Ross, you're going to get excited real quick. You're going to get turned on real quick. Yeah. But if you're picking up iffy and or dookie items and you're going to go to list it, that's why you feel very iffy about it. Like, I'll get to it next week. It's like, dude, it's just...
If I had to choose to sell on Amazon or to go back to work, get a 9-to-5, I'd get a 9-to-5.
Here we go.
At a dealership. I love cars. I don't care if I'd wash cars all day, detail cars all day, and I would be more fulfilled. And you have to be excited with what you're doing. I mean, man, have you seen the faces of these Amazon sellers?
I have seen it. I was one of those.
A lot of them are stressed, you know. You know, some of them are dying to get on a vacation or something like that. But that's kidding aside. That's the bottom line, right? You're not. It becomes a death pile because you hate it. Like, it's not even the point of it's not exciting. It's like you hate it, you know. Like we get like, what's something that we hate listing really? Or like, I can't think of anything about it right now because we haven't bought it. right? Because we've learned our lesson that, you know, we probably have some work boots. We hate selling work boots, right?
Okay.
Like, because they're so heavy, they're so bulky, right? And you always gotta find a special box for them when you ship them, right? That's why you hate it, right? You hate it because there's really no system to back it up to get it better. Cool Kicks, which car dealership? Man, if I could, man, it had to be like an exotic Ferrari or something like that. But if it's basic, I work a Mercedes Benz, BMW, or a Audi. You know, some Euro. You know, somewhere I could, you know, put a tie on, a little fly, wear my colors and stuff like that. Yeah.
Let me see. I'm 12, watching your videos, made over $300 profit in 2 months, starting with $10. I am Connor. Nice.
Connor.
There we
Keep
go.
doing that. Imagine if you keep doing that, it'll be 3,000, it'd be 30,000, it'd be 300,000, and we'd have you on our live show.
Yeah, there we go. By the time you're 35, like my age.
Man, you'd beat that. Oh, Price Assassin Acura. This guy wants Acura because he wants an NSX. Don't believe his lies. That's why he wants a deal at an NSX. That's why he wants to do that. Oh, look at Cookie. Got uppity real quick, bro. Bro, I'm telling you, it's brewing. It's brewing.
All right, let's get into number one. This is our last one. Here we go. Drum roll.
Man, this is probably gonna fire me up.
It is
even more.
You forgot why you were doing this. Now you forgot why you were doing this because you don't have any goals. You maybe started with a mini goal, but then the goal kind of drifted off. You know why also the goal drifted off? Because in your IG, people are doing crypto. People are doing cards. People are winning on Amazon. They never lose. They only win. That's why you forgot why you're doing this. And you start jumping into random things. You have no clue what you're doing.
Wow.
Instead of focusing on the original goal that you had. So
dude, that is good. Let me stop you right there.
Okay, go ahead.
You forgot why you were doing this because now the people around you or the things or media or stuff you see around you is influencing you in a different way already, right? So when you're in the sneaker world, you start seeing cards, start seeing crypto, start seeing fitness course or real estate flips. You start thinking like, oh man, that's better. And then you lost track of why you do it. That's why I'm so quick to unfollow people that hops from one thing to another. Because it doesn't help you.
Ben says NFT. Yeah, NFTs is on it. I have so many buddies now that I didn't realize are realtors now. Realtors. Yeah. I was like, man, everybody's selling some houses.
Level up.
Yeah, I was like, when did this happen?
Yeah, that's like I'm this close to posting on my Facebook like I want to talk to a Dogecoin millionaire in my friends list. It'll be crickets. I'll be crickets.
See Pokemon cards, Coop Kicks. Yeah, there's a lot of things going, a lot of side hustles going on, new trends. So question to ask yourself, am I trying to do this full time? Am I trying to do this to get out of debt? What was your original goal? That's what I want to know. Put it in the chat. Why are you doing this? I want to know why you're reselling sneakers, why you have an eBay store. What's the purpose for it? There's some people that want to make extra money for their family, spend time for their family, have extra money to do things. I think that's good too. Whatever that goal is, I know there's going to be good ones in there, but are you focused on it? Are you still leaning into that? And you know what? Goals do change. Goals grow.
Right.
You could add on top of that. I just don't like the fact that we're switching to something that we have no clue what we're doing and we're making a lot of mistakes along the way when we were doing well on the original goal, but we didn't have the patience to have that path and to get to that point. So it's like we never saw getting to that goal and the results to get there.
Yeah. I mean, having a definitive goal, it might be small or big. I think the thing is, like, if you have a big goal, right? Big goals are definitely hard to achieve, right? The problem is, you know, a lot of people switch their big goals to something smaller so they could achieve it. But what they are truly wired is to achieve that big goal, right? They want a temporary achievement. That's why they switch their goal. But it's not really about switching goals. It's really changing the strategies that you're applying to get to your big goal. That's the thing. And like, if I wanted to move into a 2-bedroom house with a basement, right? And then I'm having a hard time finding it because I wanted to move in within the next month, then I settled for a 1-bedroom house without a basement, I would be terrible right now. I would feel terrible because I would be cramped. I wouldn't have this space. I'd be stressed by looking at the clutter around. But instead of, you could just be a little bit more patient and wait for that right one.
Yeah.
And it took us 6 months to move to where we're at. But we could have moved to a compromise choice. But at the end of the day, it's really not achieving something that you actually set at first. So don't change your big goal. Don't change that goal that you're chasing. Change the strategies, right? And you said it best. Like, if your goal is to spend more time with your family, and you're doing the strategy that you're doing right now is taking time away from your family, and eventually gonna take more time and more time, right? That's not a good strategy, right? You got to develop. Yes, there will be sacrifice of time in the beginning, but make sure that the results will produce more time for your family.
Let me go to the chat. Let me see. I think we have some really good stuff in here.
Man, a lot of people got goals right here.
Yeah, let me see. Make some extra cash, pay off debit. I was stock trading before stock trading was cool, says Ed.
Was.
There we go. Was cool. SoCal, I want to have my own little boutique and quit my job. I started out because I was bored and wanted extra money. A year later, I resell full time. There we go. Nice. Doing it because I enjoy the hunt. Nice. Thrill of the hunt is always there. And to quit my crappy job, hustle crow. To be my own boss, provide for my family, Brian. Pay off a home in at least half the time, double jump. That's a really good goal. Mm-hmm. House stuff. You know, they put you in the 15 years, the 30 years.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. You're like, oh, man, you can definitely cut a lot of that time putting more money in, paying off the house. Want to quit my job. Let me see. Building help my cover kids' college. Mile High Hustle. Nate says for rent. Freedom of my time. Ben Cook. Always. I mean, the freedom is awesome. It's amazing. I love waking up and not really knowing what's going to happen for the day, because I could go here and go there. We could, you know, there's different things that are going on. You can also do, you know, spend time with your kids. Like, hey, we're going to go here today. Like, you don't have to always put in that same, you know, effort. Like, well, at least what I was doing full time, it was like 8 to 5. It's like, I knew every day what was going to happen. I was going to jump on that freeway and I was going to be stuck in traffic for a good 50 minutes before I got there. And once I got to my desk, I was going to get my coffee and I was going to check IG. Let me see. Valentine says, I want a GTR. Oh. That's definitely doable. You can ask Price Assassins.
Right.
I want to buy a home. Eddie. Time and financial freedom. BKK. Trap Al Bundy. For me, this is a side job to earn money, unforeseen expenses, and vacations. So that's going to allow the freedom because you have extra things covered. Mm-hmm. Let's see, making my own money without no boss, double jump. I started to reselling to invest for retirement. And because I love kicks, I want to share my passion with other like-minded people. Too legit. I want a Lambo like all the other resellers, says Kent. to buy rental properties. That's also a good one there too. Start getting into the housing market and figuring that out once you got the money in there. Big money mo. Let me see. I stretch my goals consistently. So resell freak. Early retirement. Thrill of the hunt. Goals, hookers, and co. Trying to get demonetized in here.
Man, if that's your goal, better be good at selling.
Wasn't that one of the guys that won the lotto and they asked him what he was gonna do? Yeah, I thought that was one of them. But being my own boss, becoming my own boss, watching my kids grow up. There you go, Miles.
Yeah.
Let's get back.
I think that's those are great goals.
Yeah,
great
for
goals.
Sure. And that's what I like hearing. I like to see what people are up to, especially in the chat. I'd be good for a Wednesday talk. Wednesday, throwing that in there. Why are you doing this? And see what some of the Wednesday people say. So another thing too is, do you enjoy this?
Right.
Some people said thrill of the hunt, but you have to enjoy what you're doing. And if you're not enjoying what you're doing, that's why we always said too, if you like going into your workplace, to your job, you enjoy it, you love it, no problems there. But once you start getting into like, I hate going in, I hate getting up, I hate doing this. And I've been there, so I can't tell you that you're wrong, because if I've been there, but you can change it.
That's the bar. If you don't tap dance to work, that's what I think it was Seth Godin that said there, or Simon Sinek. If you don't tap dance to work, you have to find another way, because time is, life is too short for you to be able to struggle through that. Like, because a lot of times, a lot of the people struggle are actually them not changing what they're doing.
Yeah,
they struggle to go to work because they keep going to the same work over and over again. They struggle to build relationships because they hang out with the same people, right? They struggle with their finances because they keep doing the same business mistake over and over again. They struggle with their cars because they keep trying to drive the same car. They struggle with not being excited about life because they keep doing the same thing over and over again, right? Like complacency kills the excitement of life. If you're complacent, if you kind of like, okay, I'll just take whatever crap I could get today, that will kill the excitement of life. And that's why, like, me and my wife love to go on like adventures and trips when we're sourcing, because it's something different, something new, change it up real quick, and trying to see some new scenery, some new places, eat something different, so switch it up.
My last little part for this, for number one, you forgot why you were doing this, has to come, I guess, for the topic of sneaker resellers that have come in and out. We've seen them come and go. We've met a lot of people, but sneaker reselling has become so huge the last 2 years, especially with the hype stuff. And you got to ask yourself, ever run into a problem or failure, will I give up? And we've seen the people give up, because people say it all the time, man, just selling sneakers, it's easy. Yeah. Anybody can do that. Look how easy this is.
It's easy. It is easy.
After how many years and system in place.
Right. If you've done everything right, it'll be easy. But if you haven't done anything, it'd be easy to give up.
If you've gone through the failures, it's a lot easier now compared to when you first started off and you've already experienced those failures. And that's why we've seen even the people that, they just started out, but seeing it grow on IG and everything at sneaker reselling and how easy it is, you may not see some of these people. And even some of the people that do have, small sneaker stores, everybody wants to be the next, what's his name? JC Urban.
Yeah, Urban Necessities, yeah.
Or Witherspoon and Round 2. Everybody wants to kind of like, after they see all that, everybody wants to do that. Do you even know everything that the overhead, paying employees, insurances? Do you know everything that goes into the business? And a lot of people don't. Yeah. So you're gonna see a lot of people come and go. It's part of it.
Yeah.
All right, Weather Spoon. Big money. Well, All right, so we are done, and those are our top 5. So let me get this out of the way. Number 5, waiting too damn long to develop inventory system. Get on that now if you haven't already. Number 4, always thinking as a seller and not a buyer. Remember, there's some things you can fix. Think about it from a buyer point of view, how you can improve on your listings. Number 3, buying items just because they are cheap. Remember, even if I gave you a size 19 cleats for free, is it worth it? Number 2, not listing an item because you hate it. Think about that meme. And do you really need to source more when you have 70 items in your death pile waiting for you to source? I mean, for you to list. Should you go out there and source? Handle your business. Number 1, you forgot why you were doing this in the first place. Set your goals. Stick to the goal. Things take time and effort, failures, and a lot of wins, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's how you keep going.
The W's. I mean, the W's become sweeter when you take a lot of L's. Ask Glenn about his sneaker app experience. Man, you know, like that's not like when you take an L in a lot of raffles, you know, that's pretty much like life. Sneakers app is life. Not everybody wins the same amount, right? And everybody still takes L's. There's no sneaker apps that win all the time, but you just have to be consistent and joining. Like that was my first win in undefeated ever. So what? Like I've been here in the States for like 7 years. 7 years of trying, Glenn. 7 years of trying. I mean, even me and Glenn went to the undefeated store. Like we bought something there because we just want to feel like we got something from undefeated because those sneaker sites are just so hard to win, the raffles and stuff like that. But
how long has it been? Radio asked. That's a good question. What was your last
hit?
Let me see. Let me bring this up.
Cactus Jack, I think, was your last hit.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Huh? The hype, right? Your last hype was Cactus Jack.
Yeah. Here we go. That was my last.
It wasn't really even that crazy hype too. I was like, it was the consolation Cactus Jack.
That was my last W on Sneakers app. All right, we are done. Wednesday live show as normal. Tag me on everything. Soupies came into the chat, so remember, any super chat helps out Soupies, and you can do that on the Wednesday show as well. If you want to join us for Wednesday, tag me on your stuff out there. We're going to talk about the stores and, of course, news and random updates that come, on that day. So keep going. And I know it's a little dry. Mix it up, dry further, and go on.